So this is my first example of a rational equation. Hopefully you know what a rational expression is. It's a polynomial over another polynomial. So a rational equation is one where you're going to have to solve for the variable and it contains rational expressions. So this is one of the simpler ones that you could see. We're going to end up solving for x. Now, whenever you want to solve for a variable, you can't solve for it if it's in a denominator. It will have to be moved to a numerator at some point in order to get it by itself. And the way that I like to solve these equations is I like to just flush out the denominators right away. I don't even want to deal with fractions. So what I do is I figure out a common denominator, and then I take that common denominator and I multiply it by every single term. And you will see that when I do that, the denominators end up canceling, so I don't have any fractions left. And I know plenty of people don't like fractions, so this should be good for you to hear that I'm getting rid of them very early on in this problem. So if my denominators are x and 4, you can just kind of put those together and create your common denominator. And so my common denominator is going to be 4 times x, or 4x. So all I have to do is multiply every single term by 4x, and magically the denominators will go away. So if you are uncomfortable with 4x being multiplied by a fraction, you can go ahead and put it over 1. That way you can see that you're multiplying the numerators together and the denominators together. So if you are more comfortable with just multiplying straight across, that's fine. So the first term would be 4x times 6 over 1 times x. The second term would be 4x times 5 over 1 times 4, and so on. Or a much quicker way to do this is you can immediately start canceling things, because if there's a common factor or a common term in the numerator with the denominator, you're allowed to cross those out. So in that first term, I have a 4x in the numerator and I have an x in the denominator. So I'm looking at this term right here. I'm allowed to cross out those x's, because if you go ahead and multiply straight across and then reduce, those x's are going to end up going away anyway. The second term, we have a 4 in the numerator and a 4 in the denominator. So those are going to eliminate. And then the same thing happens in the last one. Those 4s also cancel. So now you just have 1s left in the denominators, which means we really don't have any denominators left, because dividing by 1 just stays the same. So the first term, 4 times 6, is all I have left. Oh, that was ugly. Okay, the second term, all I have left is x times 5. And then after the equal sign, all I have left is x times negative 7. And just like that, this became a pretty easy problem. This is from Algebra 1. You're just solving for x. This is my first video I'm making today, and my screen is so slow already. I mean, come on, look at that. I can't even write a 2. And then divide by negative 12. And that is your final answer.